the things you should look at when you're drafting, and I'm sure anybody who's been drafting a lot notices this, is one of the things that I do is if there's a player that I really like and I think I might be able to get him in the round prior, I'm going to look at and see what the other teams do. This is why it's really good to have like a 2-minute clock, or like at least a minute clock when you're drafting, or at least know your big board before going into your draft.
Mm-hmm.
Sky Moore can be drafted anywhere between the 12th and the 14th round for some people. But seeing the board and knowing that there's a team 2 and team 3 are not wide receiver heavy.
No.
They're going to be looking for wide receivers at some point in time. Team 1 and team 5 or team 4 are fairly wide receiver heavy. I probably wasn't going to get him to come back to me at all, particularly looking at the names that have little upside in Thielen and Lazard.
So as we're concluding this draft, everyone's going to do the kickers and the defense, and we're not really going to spend a whole lot of time on that. I do want to spend time on one player who should be rocketing up draft boards that, as we see here in this 10-man league, goes in the 13th round, and that is Higbee. Now that Cooper Kupp is out, Higbee is going to be the darling of that team, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, they don't play during preseason. But he is going to lead that team in targets just as he did in the beginning of last year. Higbee is going to be a dog to start this season.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that. Higbee's PPR numbers, at least at the beginnings of the season, are really phenomenal numbers. If you take Tua, like I did, you're going to take another quarterback. You have the choice of Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff. I went with Jared Goff because that team feels like they have a little bit more upside. Just in sheer the way they looked at the end of last season feels like they're going to come out the gate a little bit hotter.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm probably not going to play Goff until Tua gets hurt, because even though we have said that we are not fans of having Tua on our fantasy teams, the numbers are undeniable when it comes to Tua. And when he plays and he's healthy, he really does put up good numbers for fantasy. They might not win the Dolphins games, but they have a good chance of putting you into a fighting chance in fantasy. And when you're taking Tua as the, what is that, the 13th, 14th quarterback off the board,
yeah,
there's value there.
Not. That late in the draft, there is. What you're obviously dealing with is the risk of when he gets hurt. But given the fact it's the quarterback position and they don't really get scraped out that deep, you just end up back in a spot where you're streaming quarterbacks anyway, and you're going to end up with a Jordan Love of the world, which I don't think is going to be that bad.